The moment I pulled into the driveway of my new home in Maplewood, Virginia, on a crisp autumn afternoon in November 2024, I thought I'd finally made it. After months of getting outbid in a cutthroat housing market, my wife, Sarah, and I had snagged a gorgeous two-story Craftsman at a price that felt like a steal. The place was perfect: sprawling lawn, wraparound porch, quiet cul-de-sac. I was practically whistling as I grabbed the keys, ready to snap some photos to send to our families. But before I could even step out of the car, the neighbor's front door flew open with a bang, and this woman, let's call her Vanessa Carter, came charging across her yard like a bull seeing red. "You can't live here," she screamed, her voice slicing through the calm street like a siren. "That house belongs to my family." I froze, heart pounding, wondering if I'd accidentally driven into the wrong driveway. I mean, I'd just signed the papers that morning. Everything was legal, above board, no question. But Vanessa was pointing at me with this wild, possessive rage, like I'd stolen her birthright. My house wasn't even in her HOA, yet she was acting like she owned the whole damn neighborhood. What would you do if your new neighbor lost their mind the second you showed up? Buckle up, because this story gets absolutely insane. Let me rewind a bit. I'm Jake, a software engineer, and Sarah's a physical therapist. We'd been house hunting for what felt like an eternity, losing out to cash offers and waived inspections. It was brutal. Then this house popped up: a gem, listed way below market value. No competing bids. Sarah and I were suspicious, like, what's the catch? But after so many letdowns, we jumped on it. The seller, a guy named Ethan Brooks, had inherited the place from his aunt, Margaret Hayes, who'd passed away in early 2024. He needed to sell fast, something about financial troubles, and we felt a pang of guilt, but also thought, hey, their loss, our gain. Big mistake. Huge. The closing went smoother than expected, and by November 10th, 2024, we were officially homeowners. I texted Sarah, "We did it. New chapter starts now." I had no clue I was about to walk into a nightmare. That first day, I drove over to take some celebratory photos. The leaves were turning, the light was golden, perfect Instagram vibes. But as soon as I parked, Vanessa stormed out, her face twisted with fury. "What the hell are you doing here?" she yelled, loud enough to wake the dead. I rolled down my window, trying to stay calm. "Hi, I'm Jake, your new neighbor. Just closed on the house today. Bad move." Her voice hit a pitch that could shatter glass. "That house is mine. You have no right to be here." She was jabbing her finger at me like I'd committed a felony. I'm sitting there, stunned, thinking this has to be a mix-up. I pulled out the deed, all official with my name on it, and showed it to her. "Ma'am, I bought this legally. Here's the paperwork." She barely glanced at it, like it was written in invisible ink. "I don't care about your papers. That house has been in my family for generations. The sale was fraudulent. Now, I'm no lawyer, but I know that's not how property law works. My research showed Margaret Hayes owned the place since the 1980s, no Carters anywhere in the records. Vanessa's generations claim was pure fiction. What freaked me out more was how she knew exactly when I'd be closing down to the hour. I tried reasoning with her, but she wasn't having it. Fraudulent sale? That thief stole my inheritance, and you're in on it. Conspiracy? I'm just a guy trying to live the suburban dream. Before I could process her madness, she was on her phone, barking, "I need the board here now. Someone's illegally bought our property." Board? What board? My house predated her HOA by decades. Within 15 minutes, cars pulled up, and a group of official-looking folks gathered on Vanessa's lawn. Her HOA cronies, I guessed. They were more professional than her. I'll give them that. They checked my deed, confirmed I was the legal owner, but one guy dropped a bombshell. This is the fourth ownership dispute for this address in recent years. Previous owners struggled to fit in. Your low purchase price has folks wondering what you know that we don't. Fourth dispute? What was going on with this house? Neighbors were peeking out from behind curtains, whispering, pointing. The HOA warned me about community standards, but Vanessa's parting shot chilled me to the bone. "Enjoy it while it lasts, Jake. That house will go back to its rightful owners." The way she said my name, like she'd been digging into my life, was straight up creepy. I called Sarah from the driveway, filling her in. She was floored. "You're kidding, right? Please tell me this is a joke." I wished it was. Sarah, used to handling tough patients, suggested we walk away. "If the neighbors are this hostile before we even move in, is it worth it?" Part of me agreed, but I'm stubborn as hell, and Vanessa's entitled attitude lit a fire in me. We'd sunk too much into this house to let some delusional bully scare us off. That night, I walked the property, looking for clues to her obsession. The house was pristine, the yard immaculate. Nothing explained the low price. But something felt off. Vanessa's knowledge of my closing, the prior disputes, her rightful owners, threaded all screamed coordination. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Don't trust Vanessa Carter. She's dangerous. Document everything. My stomach dropped. Someone had seen our showdown and felt compelled to warn me anonymously. Who was this? I dove into county records, and what I found was wild. Margaret Hayes owned the house since 1982. No Carter connection anywhere. She died childless in February 2024, leaving the place to her nephew Ethan, who sold it to me after losing his job. Vanessa's inheritance claim was a flat-out lie. But it got creepier. Vanessa was watching me like a hawk, photographing my visitors, logging violations with military precision. Her measuring tape clicked against my fence posts daily, her pen scratching out complaints. I caught her shadow moving behind her windows at odd hours, always watching. This wasn't nosy neighbor stuff, it was obsessive stalking. I fought back with tech, installing a Ring doorbell. Within days, I caught Vanessa trespassing, measuring my trash cans. When I confronted her, she didn't blink. I'm conducting official inspections. Your bins violate city setbacks. City setbacks? My house wasn't under her HOA. Then she hit me with, grandfather clauses expire when properties change hands. You're subject to current ordinances. It clicked. She wasn't just abusing HOA rules. She was weaponizing city bureaucracy, filing fake violations to build a harassment campaign. That night, another anonymous call came, voice disguised. She monitors courthouse computers. Research from home. How did they know I was digging into records? She's done this to 3 other families. Same pattern: research, harassment, forced sales to her buyer's trust. A trust? Vanessa wasn't just a nutcase. She was running a property scam. I tracked down a victim, Lisa Thompson, who'd sold her home to Vanessa's trust 6 months earlier. She was reluctant at first, but opened up when I mentioned Vanessa. She destroyed us, Lisa whispered. My mom was battling dementia. Vanessa filed violation after violation: fence height, mailbox placement, while we were drowning in medical bills. We sold for $60,000 below market just to escape. Vanessa targeted vulnerable people, sick, grieving, or broke, exploiting their weaknesses with surgical precision. Public records showed she'd pulled this in 2 other towns, leaving broken families and cheap property sales in her wake. Her husband, Greg, an insurance adjuster, seemed clueless when I cornered him during his jog. Fraud. Vanessa handles our investments, he stammered, face pale. I thought they were legit deals. He was signing trust papers blind, enabling her scheme without knowing. Things escalated when Vanessa tried to get me fired, claiming my disruptive behavior hurt the neighborhood's remote work vibe. Then another anonymous note slid under my door. She's planning to frame you for theft. Stolen goods on your property, her reporting you. My cameras caught her late-night garage meetings, strange cars coming and going. She was building a legal trap, painting me as a criminal to force a sale. I went all in, documenting her every move: timestamps, photos, audio. I reached out to victims across states, building a case. My attorney, Rachel Patel, saw the pattern immediately. This is intentional infliction of emotional distress, maybe fraud. We can fight this. She'd faced Vanessa before, stopping her from bullying a widower 2 years earlier. Vanessa's next move was a restraining order, claiming I threatened her with doctored footage from my own cameras. In court, she played the terrified victim, tears and all. But Rachel flipped the script, showing my unedited footage of Vanessa staging confrontations. Then my anonymous helper sent photos of Vanessa bribing a city inspector, envelopes exchanged in coffee shops. Judge Larson's face darkened. Ms. Carter, this suggests public corruption. Your petition is dismissed, and I'm referring this to the DA. Vanessa's empire crumbled. Neighbors, finally free, shared their own horror stories at an emergency HOA meeting. Vanessa's presidency was revoked, her reputation shredded. The community united, swapping violation notices and realizing they'd all been played. Then I met my guardian angel. As neighbors celebrated, a man approached from the shadows. Jake, I'm Ethan Brooks, he he said, voice steady but heavy. Margaret's nephew. He'd been tracking Vanessa since she drove his aunt to a stress-induced heart attack in 2024. For 2 years, he'd built a case: photos, victim interviews, financial trails waiting for someone like me to fight back. You were the bait, he admitted. Your tech skills and stubbornness made you the perfect target to expose her. Ethan sold me the house knowing Vanessa would pounce, using my resistance to unravel her network. His evidence led to her arrest for fraud, corruption, and civil rights violations. The inspector flipped, exposing more corrupt officials. Vanessa's shell companies were seized, her victims poised for restitution. Maplewood healed. We started a watch program to spot predatory behavior, and property values climbed. Sarah and I grew stronger, bonded by the fight. Ethan became a friend, his grief for his aunt fueling justice for us all. But questions linger. Who else was in Vanessa's network? How deep did the corruption go? Have you ever faced a neighbor who seemed normal but turned out to be a predator? Ever had a stranger save you without revealing why? Share your stories below, and if this tale shocked you, hit that like button and subscribe for more. This fight exposed a monster, but what else is hiding in plain sight?